You guys see the clip where the sports caster calls the Canucks the Canooks?
Former Washington Capitals coach Bruce Boudreau has been fired by the Vancouver Canooks. The team announced the change Sunday, less than a week after president of hockey operations Jim Rutherford said major surgery was needed to fix the Canooks.
In other sports news, Coach Bruce Boudreau has been fired from the Vancouver Canooks. The Canooks are moving forward with new coach Rick Tocchet. It's very good. You don't necessarily have to be a hockey fan to understand it. There's just 3 words that she mispronounces, which is fair, having never heard them before. Although also, like, if you've never heard them before, I'm not going to say, why are you a sportscaster? It's more like, why is a local affiliate somewhere talking about the Vancouver Canucks getting fired if obviously they don't care? Oh, dude! I forgot I had a little bit of Clementine left. Holy cow. Oh, baby. I had like two cells left. I don't know what you call it. 2 segments? Probably segments. How's Ruka doing? He's doing fine. He's doing annoying, which is not atypical for him. Yesterday, just chilling. I don't know. It was probably, I'm gonna say 9:30 p.m. Heard a crash behind me, and then lo and behold, Ruka had jumped from the cat tree to the tower of board games that we have on the shelf back here. You can't really see it, but the board games are all like, they're not set up to be load-bearing board games. You know, it's a display. So he landed on one side and took down the whole tower. So like 7 board games came crashing down like 6 feet to the ground. And then he had the audacity to look at me like, why did you put those there? He was like upset with me. And I'm like, you're upset with me? This shit's never gonna close right ever again. You know how cats is and all that. Austin Powers is okay. Austin Powers is in the safe. Have you ripped any Pokemon cards? I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. I haven't ripped any Pokemon cards. My wife and my nieces have ripped some Pokemon cards. I have no interest in it because I went through it with Magic. I felt the compulsion to open Magic cards. Oh, go dude, collected company. This one's worth $20. Oh, freaking Jace not Jace the Mind Sculptor. I forget what Jace Mystic Unbound or whatever. Oh my God, that's the Chase Rare in Magic Origins. It's $100. Shit's sitting in my storage right now. I mean, they're double sleeved, they're protected, etc., etc. But that shit is not worth $100. It's a piece of paper that sits in my storage right now. That Jace isn't worth that much anymore. That's fine. I'm sure there's some, we got some expeditions, but the thing is, I'm not gonna go through them and put them up on like a local game store anyway. I'm gonna have to wait till I'm like retired for that shit. It's gonna be a long time. So I'm like, basically now, whenever I rip collectible cards, especially like if you play the game, I get it. And Mouth, I cut him a little bit of slack because I think he does it to bond with his nephew, which is totally cool. However, if you otherwise are like opening packs and not selling the cards and also not playing the game, then congratulations, you are gambling. It might not be a problem, it might be a problem, it might not be a problem. But basically you're like, oh, I'm really excited for Amazon to deliver my slot machine today. Which is fine, at least now that we've defined it, you can figure out if it's recreation and that's okay, or if it's like, maybe I should take a step back. Which is why I get annoyed whenever I like open Magic cards and stuff like that, because I'm basically like, every time I open it, I'm just like, this is just garbage. If I played the game, it would be a different story, but I don't. So whenever someone gives me like, or whenever my wife buys Pokemon cards, I'm like, here's 30 little plastic wrappers, and then 30 cards with QR codes on them that are like, here's some shit that you can get online. 30 cards that are like, this is just bulk chaff. And then like 1 Chase Rare that like would make a kid's day, but instead we just sequester it in a binder for 20 years. I would rather just buy stocks. Especially because honestly, stock certificates look better than the average Pokemon card. I will allow that Slowbro one where he's like in an idyllic Japanese village. That one is cool art. The rest of them, I think, someone said I was offended by your take on Pokemon cards looking bad. Check out this one. And then I looked at that one and I was like, that's good. And then they were like, yeah, what about this one? And it was like a fucking airbrushed dragon that looked like a, I don't even know, I don't want to describe it, something you would like paint on the side of your uncle's van or something like that. And I'm like, no, no, no. Stick to the slow, bro, okay? Don't worry about the dragons. Either way, slash marker, sap. Bro, this weekly's kind of annoying me, okay? I'll run it a couple of times before we start talking about why it's annoying me. No, you know what? I'm going to tell you why it annoys me to begin with. I feel like everything's good in this weekly. Everything's fun is maybe a better way to describe it until round 7, round 8. And then it's all lemon and buffalo. And that's it. Okay. I'm sick of this guy. I know that's what the build is, or what the video is called this morning, but I'm sick of this guy. Also, I'm sick of the fact, I don't know if anybody else has had this same thing, but I only play 2 people in SAP now. I don't know if they just did so many runs that they're like, they've stuffed the database, or if they found a way to exclusively play me. I only play Empty the Cup and Billy _ XD or something like that. That's it. Just 2 people over. I know I held up 3, but I'm playing 2 people over and 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 over again. Same. Well, I'm glad it's not just me. Let's be the, I mean, I'll be a huge piece. That's pretty good. I don't know what these words mean. Sounds like a personal problem. You piece. Great emote. Great emote. Was that Billy XD? I couldn't tell. I'm telling you, I don't know like how the online system like works in the game. Mostly, I don't care to know, quite frankly. Doesn't matter that much to me. But like, it's possible you may see them. Even now. I don't see them yet. You know, maybe it's... as we get into the later rounds, prepare yourself for some Billy XD. Holy cow, a hit win. Why don't you play the golden pack or any other pack? Listen, like, we get a lot of questions. You would have thought that at this point we would be over it by now. I get a lot of questions that are like, why do you do this? Why do you not do that? Why don't you do this instead of this? I'm literally just one guy. Like, I go live and I say, like, what am I gonna do today? Let's do this. It's not, we don't finish the stream, have like an hour of tear down, clean the countertops and stuff like that, talk about post-mortem, what went right today, what went wrong. I finish the stream, I record some videos, I pick up my daughter from daycare, have nice family time at night, wake up, ride the Peloton, help get my daughter ready for daycare. We don't have like an executive planning committee that's like, oh, dude, Forspoken came out yesterday. We got to play that. It's the only major release in January 2023. We got to get involved with the Forspoken discourse. Oh, it's the worst dialogue I've ever heard. It's like Justin Rowland and Mindy Kaling had a baby and they got the green light to be the showrunner for Community. Oh, whoa, Forspoken is actually like a lot of fun. Don't listen to people who hate everything. Oh, so maybe it's just like a fucking 7 out of 10 and we shouldn't be wasting the limited time we have on planet Earth. Yes, I haven't even played it, but in my head, the image that I have of Forspoken is not nearly as bad as the reviewers who played 40 hours, but not nearly as good as the reviewers who played 40. Who gives a shit? We're just chilling. We're just talking. We're just shooting the breeze. Hey, why'd you order matzo sticks instead of the nachos? I don't know. It just felt like eating fried cheese, okay? Why is the sky blue? Why is water wet? I don't know. I don't know. These are higher order questions. There's just, is wet meat getting zapped with electricity and it's got to manifest itself in behavior some way? I wouldn't worry too much about trying to interpret it. Does that answer your question? The short answer is I don't know. No water buffalo, just a bison this time. Merciful. Still gonna get destroyed, but that's okay. Still gonna get modestly destroyed. No, we're gonna draw. Okay. I told you it's empty the cup. Did I tell you or did I tell you? Now here comes Billy XD. Here's Billy XD. Oh, what did I tell ya? Dude, they're everywhere. Everywhere I turn, I see their face. I don't know what happened. Like, what? But I'll tell you, nothing feels better than getting a win against one of these scumbags who I don't know if they just stuffed the database full of their name or if it's a bug or something, but it feels like a damn dream when you smoke them, let me tell you. Or I don't know if there's skill-based matchmaking or something now. It's a scary time. Let's put it that way. I see the value of a pita, and I also see a little silhouette of a man. I think I'm going to go for... Level 3 bat seems like it goes crazier than getting the crocodile there ASAP. I think this run is not so bad. Scaramouche? I don't know what you're talking about. Scaramouche. What does that mean? I was just sitting here talking about... excuse me? You have the audacity here in my... Right here in front of my salad to give me a level 2 bird of paradise? You know what's crazy is that when I was a kid, I thought I didn't like musical theater. My ass would go crazy for Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm like, oh, I don't really like musicals. They're a little too theatrical for me. Meanwhile, I'm like singing along to a song. Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, 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 Figaro, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a... Like, that shit is straight out of the Phantom of the Opera, man. If you love Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm sorry to tell you, you love musicals. Overrated song? I couldn't agree more, quite frankly. I mean, if we're talking about Queen, I've said some negative things about the band known as Queen before. And probably, if I'm being honest, a lot of those are just steeped in ignorance, I'll admit. But... Bohemian Rhapsody, I will stand by the fact that I don't think that's their best song. Something like Somebody to Love. That's what it's about, man. Like, Freddie Mercury has an amazing voice. I'll let him get a little theatrical, too. Like Princes of the Universe from the Highlander soundtrack. You don't even know, by the way. Like, you should honestly be, like... very thankful that this is the first run you're seeing, because this is 10 times better than the average run I have on this weekly. Billy XD. Who the hell is Billy XD? I know! They stuffed the database or something, man. Don't stop me now. I feel... Okay, now you're gonna give me a little bit of trouble. I think Don't Stop Me Now is a good song, and I try not to do this, but I do not succeed very often. I feel like, it's a good song made worse because really annoying people love it. You guys know that I love Hall & Oates. But some of Hall & Oates' best songs have been ruined for me as a result of annoying people being like, how do you feel about Out of Touch Thursdays? Or alternatively, every time the Maple Leafs score a goal, ga-da-dunk, dunk. I don't want to go off on a rant here, but does anybody else think that McMaster and James doesn't get their just desserts as Canada's version of Hall & Oates? I love McMaster and James. I was thinking about them yesterday. I can't even remember why. It's like... It's kind of crazy that McMaster and James have no cultural footprint whatsoever. They're like the way that people thought Avatar 1 was before Avatar 2 came out. But there's some songs, man. Like, the sun is gonna rise, don't you worry about tomorrow. Everybody hurts sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, my neighbors are gonna be kind of pissed about this one. You don't know McMaster and James? I'm just stoked I got this might be the only 10 piece I get in this little sap section, to be honest with you. You guys listen to the new Pink Fong album yet? The company that brought you Baby Shark? T-Rex, I'm the best hunter. T-Rex, who's gonna be my prey? Oh, man. I don't know if it necessarily holds up to the height of their, radio singles, but it's got some good ones, though. Dino ABC, Dino ABC. It's dinosaurs A to Z. And then they go through the Allosaurus, Bibliosaurus. You guys ever hear what a Dino Kairos sounds like, by the way? It goes kind of crazy. Let me see. Dino Kairos. Shurzy. Dino Kairos sound. Ready for this? Dino Kairos sound effect. Sound of the weirdest dinosaur ever. Holy cow. What an underrated dinosaur. So true. Alright, I mean, that's it, basically. Honestly, I think that's probably more accurate. How would I know that, now that I think about it? Doesn't make any sense. How do they know? I don't know. I probably should have sold the possum here, huh? But I was thinking about... I was so freaked out by that damn Dino Kairos, man. We'll can again. We got lots of HP to play with, but we are on a tight schedule, just because we're not scaling very well. Overwrite some equipment, please. Didn't work as well as I thought it would. Your lemon got overridden. This is drawable, man. No, it's not quite drawable. Billy Billy! Billy Billy. Every freaking time. Please, chocolate. Or bat. Or eagle! Or Minnesota. Okay, roll me chocolate. I don't want the hedgehog. I'm over it. Please. Please. Weaken their 50-50. Weaken their melons. Thank you for weakening their melons. We may still lose, but it's the only chance we had. I like how I said may. Like it's even up in the air right now. We need... with all disrespect, we need... Billy Billy! I was also playing Billy Billy and Empty the Cup all the time last night. Yeah, I don't know what happened, honestly. It would be totally fine if they were, like, ass. But unfortunately, they're, like, pretty good at the game. We're on 2 life with 1 win. Bad start. How about this and this? And a bison. Now we're at least talking. The bison, I mean, without stating the obvious, it would be nice to have a little bit more HP. Like, not on the bison, but just in terms of our own life right now. My god, our penguin actually 1 for 1. I didn't know it was possible. Suck on that, Billy Billy! No. Hold on. Yes. Empty the cup! Why don't you take one of those? Empty the cup. Every single freaking game. Same thing every time. The real question is, if you're Billy Billy, are you just playing Empty the Cup every single game and vice versa? Or are all of your games taking like 25 minutes to actually launch because you can't find any competitors? Billy Billy's a bot, but don't tell NL. I'm just like kind of sick of AI. And like, this shit maybe has just gotten started. I'm kind of like over it to begin with. Me too. So true. I didn't expect everybody to agree with it. At the very least, I want to see AI do more for me than just be like, it can pass the MCATs. Like, I mean, I guess it's pretty early. If I could, like, get prescribed antibiotics by AI, that would be nice. Mostly because I still feel like, even though maybe this isn't the way it works, I feel like I'm smarter than the AI, and as a result, I could game it to give me whatever I wanted just by feeding it the prompt in the right way. But I don't know if that's, like, actually strictly true or whatever, such as, but it could write bits for you. I don't even write bits for myself. Maybe call me when it can take out, like, my damn compost or something like that. Then it's actually got some utility. Pita Pit goated? Dude, I'm, like, annoyed that there's no, well, I think there are pita pits in Vancouver, but they're, like, Billy Billy! They're, like, out there. Like, they're not in Vancouver proper. They're, like, the people who are like, oh, I'm from Vancouver. And I'm like, oh, really? What part? And they're like, Port Coquitlam. I really make fun of NL for order, but I'm too lazy to fix it in my own runs. I think there's just... And I mean, I say this with sympathy. As long as you're not empty the cup. The human brain is just not very good, in my opinion. Like, it's so... It loves finding flaws in other people's behavior and hates finding them in itself. Like, you ever notice how many excuses you make for myself? Oh, I shouldn't eat this. Oh, but I had a bad day. Oh, but I deserve it. Oh, but I was healthy for breakfast. Oh, but I took a walk at lunch. Yeah, but I'm not hungry. Yeah, but it would be fun to eat it. Or like you'll snap at somebody, like you'll be needlessly short-sighted and rude. And then in your head you're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I feel bad." And then you're like, "No, but everybody can have a bad day now and then. I've had a bad day. I slipped up a little bit. It happens to everybody." If someone does it to you, you're like, "Wow, why are you an asshole 100% of the time?" The human brain, it treats itself so much better than it treats other people. And it should treat ourselves a lot worse, is what I'm trying to argue. Because we should have a little bit more control over our own behavior. Whether or not it gives concessions to other people, I'm not really that interested in. But it should definitely be harder on us. Isn't that just depression? No, that's just normal. That's just the normal human brain. People think that, like, wait, I mean, listen, editor's note, N.B, I am not a psychiatrist. People think that, like, depressed brain is, like, introspection, anything that shows any level of self-reflection. And if your brain was just like not depressed, you'd be living like one of those Web3 founders who has like complete unbridled confidence in themselves. No, it's like the thing that you think is the depression is actually the normal thing that everybody goes through. And they outwardly appear to have like a great day at work, and then they go home and they're like, why did I choose that word in that meeting? I'm so fucking stupid. And then the Web3 people who are like, yeah, I think that this NFT is worth like $500,000, and they never have a moment of doubt. They're the crazy people. They're manic. We've got the baseline set at the wrong thing. Those people are the ones that are delusional. I'm not saying depression doesn't exist. Like, that's just crazy. I haven't been streaming long enough to fall into that pit yet. I'm merely saying some level of self-awareness and introspection is very good for you. It would be kind of sick if Web3 solved depression. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on whether it'll do that, though. Anyway, Billy XP, thanks for the free win. I did see a take that was... my most insane take is that if you just hold in diarrhea for a couple hours, it'll crystallize into normal poop. I semi-believe that. Because that's sort of how it works, right? The longer the poop stays in, the more water gets absorbed from it. But I don't know if it works that way once it's at the aperture. Like, I think it's got to actually work its way through the colon in order to have that happen. I don't think it works like that. That being said, if I had to say what's the most insane take that I believe is true, I think, like, and I'm not saying I'm very smart. Maybe just in the top 0.1%, but not like the 0.001%, 0.01%. I think if you're like really stupid, life is like hard. And I think if you're like insanely smart, it's hard. But I think just being like a little stupider than average, like just stupid enough to have limited self-awareness of how dumb you are would be you would feel amazing. Let me put it that way. That's my personal delusion, is that you would feel amazing. Your behavior would probably lead smart people to be like, wow, that person's really stupid. But in your head, you would be like, I'm a genius. Why isn't anybody as smart as I am? That's the dream, man. Anyway. Did you see the tweet where the lady said, once you realize alcohol is a lie, life gets so much better? And then Elon Musk replied, I don't like the taste or effects of most alcohol, but there's something special about red wine in a fine glass. I'm sorry, let's move on. I don't know what I'm doing on this run anymore. Something special about it. Red wine in a fine glass. It's just got me laughing because, like, well, I mean, this is the stolen tweet because the tweet that I saw was a quote tweet that said, Web3 20-something woman, I don't like alcohol. Elon Musk, have you heard of red wine in a glass? But I don't think it's like, I don't think it's cherry picking. Like, that's literally what just happened. Early Bird of Paradise? Yeah, but the Bird of Paradise is like, I don't know. I'm not just saying this because I passed it up, but I feel like it's one of those things where as soon as you take it, you're like, yeah, I don't have fun when I play games. That's the most fun thing for me. You know what's really fun is beating Billy XD. Come back to SAP and now there's avocados and taco salads. Dude, it's... I forgot to mention, I think. I tweeted it to Dan, though. I went to taco time. Oh, no! Okay, fair enough. I'll take 8. I went to taco time for the first time in my life. This phrasing. Because 2 stories got intermingled there. Because I was at the mall buying a birthday gift for my wife. And while I was there, I was like, oh shit, bachelor food court. I can get whatever I want from the food court. It's not like, listen, you could phrase this in the least sigma way possible. Whatever my wife is going to get from the food court, I would say 90% of the time, I go, yeah, I'll just get that too. Because I don't want to wait in 2 separate lines, get 2 transactions on my credit card statement, and then, like, have to meet up at maybe, like, different, or walk through the whole food court trying to figure out where she sat down. Like, it's just easier that way. So I'll just get whatever she wants to get. So usually if we're at the mall food court, we get like a Juga juice or something like that, or we'll get some A&W. But I was like, oh, I'm in charge of my own destiny today. I'm gonna go to taco time. I had a marinated chicken taco salad. Listen, I would not say that it's like the craziest, like most delicious Mexican food I've ever eaten in my life, but it was a lot better than I expected. I left impressed. I left saying that if I had to, I would eat it at taco time again. I thought it was like poison, but it was actually pretty good. Taco salad's inherently mid. Yeah, I was at the mall food court. That's where mid food thrives. I mean, like, what we're talking, there's a taco time, there's like a Thai Express. I've eaten at that Thai Express before, and it's just slap in the face. I would never. There's a Chinese food restaurant that gave my wife food poisoning at the height of COVID insanity, so we had to drive, like, with her and our 3-month-old infant to North Vancouver to the only urgent care that was open. She got a COVID test even though she was like, I'm throwing up. They're like, it's probably COVID. And then, like, 3 hours later, they're like, oh, it's not COVID. You're like, yeah, I know. Okay, so there is there's Chachi's, the Vancouver sandwich restaurant. At least I think it's Vancouver. It's, that place is okay. Don't get me wrong. Because I go there that often, I said, no, I'm going someplace else. There's New York Fries. I'm not 17 years old, so, like, I'm not going to New York Fries at the mall. Like, it's just, I've aged out of it. Chachi's is fine if a little overpriced. So I'm going to use you as a conduit to put society on blast. I'm sick of hearing how restaurants are overpriced. Because I don't think there's been... The number of restaurants that get labeled as overpriced versus cheap is actually like 95 to 5. So if it's overpriced, then fucking stop eating there. I'm sick of hearing about how I was forced to buy a $12 sandwich, but actually I wish sandwiches were $10.20. Go to a place where sandwiches are $10.20 then. They don't exist anymore. Then the restaurant's not overpriced. The restaurant is market priced, but it's priced you out. So, like, it's not that the restaurant is like, oh, how am I gonna, like, bend this customer over? Is that if all the restaurants are overpriced, then the market is overpriced and it's not the restaurant's fault. I would accept that, oh, this restaurant is overpriced if I didn't hear it about 85% of the restaurants on the market. It is overpriced, though. It's not overpriced. You just don't want to pay for it or can't pay for it. Because if it's priced where it's priced and it's open and it's thriving, then that shit is not overpriced. It's appropriately priced. It's overpriced for the value I received. Then don't go there. If you stop going there, maybe they'll go out of business and a cheaper restaurant will take their place. And definitely don't tip. Tell that to my $16 Chipotle. Honestly, Chipotle is like the catalyst for this. So many people are like, I'm so sick of Chipotle steak burrito bowl. It keeps going up. It goes up like $1.50 a year. Okay, fucking stop buying it then. I also wish that it was cheaper. I'll tell you, I had my Chipotle moment. I went to order some Chipotle, and I was like, I'm not paying $14 for a burrito. Are you insane? And then I've never been back. Instead, my ass is buying $22 salad bowls, and they have the audacity to ask me afterwards, hey, do you want to tweet for free about how you got this salad bowl? And I'm like, absolutely not. If you take $1 off my bill, then we'll start talking, but for free, I'd have to be the stupidest idiot on the planet. So now a $14 burrito is overpriced? Yeah, so I don't go there. So is it overpriced? Sure. Does it affect me? No, because I simply say to myself, I'd rather starve. What do you eat? I had 2 slices of bread with hummus, a banana, an apple, and a clementine for breakfast this morning. Is Subway overpriced? Well, okay. I'm starting to understand where we come to conflict here. It's obviously overpriced. That much is like, it's not even debate. Don't buff this guy. Thank you so much. It's not even debatable. At least, what you get in Subway, the price is not the ingredients or the taste. Which is probably not what you want to hear if you're running a so-called restaurant. That's like it's like a $7 sandwich that costs $12. So there's a $5 convenience charge for going to Subway. So the sandwich is certainly overpriced. That much is not even up for debate. The experience is also overpriced. But I would never be like, oh, I hate Subway, it's overpriced. Because if I found it too overpriced, I simply would not consume their food. But what I do instead is consume their food, I don't know, maybe like twice monthly. Billy. You just said it's overpriced? Well, that's because I'm trying to like kowtow to you rather than... I don't think it's overpriced. They just they flip the Interac machine around and I just tap my card before I even look at the decimal points. But like on an objective level, is it overpriced? Yeah, probably. They're like $8. They're not. But listen, you're back in the $5 footlong era, unfortunately. The Subway sandwich, and there's a CAD to USD as well. I would say the average footlong, unless you're getting like ham, we're talking it's like in the $12 zone. And then if you're adding on top of that, a drink and listen, the other thing I don't respect about Subway, after COVID, during COVID, they shut down the fountain drinks. So they only had bottled drinks available, which is like we've been talking about it a lot. I don't really mind security theater until it starts to affect the bottom line. So like with the fountain drinks, they were baked into the combo price. It was like the lowest possible price that you could get for the combo was with the fountain drink. Then they said we can't run fountain drinks because everyone's going to get COVID. You have to instead put your hand on this handle, slide open a fridge that everybody else is sliding open with their bare hands and grab a bottle out of the fridge. The bottle's like 35% more expensive. And then now they're like, there's no COVID restrictions, but they didn't bring the fountain back. So now that shit, that's like they raised their prices, but then also there's like a permanent raise of the price floor. It's almost like it's overpriced. Listen, do you want to own me or do you want to have like a conversation where we learn something about the world? Because what I'm not trying to, it depends on the concept of what do you mean when you say overpriced? Is it too expensive for what it's worth? Then yeah, probably like half the shit in the world is overpriced. Because like, people are like, why would I buy this thing at this restaurant when I could buy the ingredients at the grocery store for less? Well, because the person that's running the restaurant, like that's their fucking job. So you need to pay more for the ingredients because you also need to pay the people that are running the restaurant to be able to buy their own shit to run their own life. Like whatever you're doing in your own life right now. Okay, well, listen, that's probably not true. I was going to say that you're probably overpriced as well. But like everything is by definition overpriced in this sense. The fact that you could, that like the only things that are not overpriced is when you buy like 10,000 paper clips on AliExpress. You're like, holy shit, if I had to make my own paperclip, I don't even know. It would probably take me like $50 of labor and 7 cents of iron pellets to get it done, right? Or Uline or something like, exactly. So I say everything else, like you ever go get a massage or something like that? A massage could be like $100 an hour. For what? You're literally paying for nothing. You're paying for touch. Why don't you just touch your own body? It's because you're paying for when you overpay for things within your community has more money. The more money flows around your community gets nicer. Everyone's happier. Less people are cutting each other off on the road. They're waving to each other. They're saying, have a nice day. They're saying they've got one thing. A shopping cart is in front of them. The person with the shopping cart says, you go ahead, because I've got a full cart. You've got one thing. It just makes the whole world more pleasant. I guess what I'm trying to say is I hate sauerkraut. No, what I'm trying to say is I think it doesn't feel good to overpay at like an international chain. It feels good to overpay at a local restaurant. Like when you overpay at a Subway, you're like, I'm a piece of crap. But when you overpay at like Bill's Cafe, and you're like, oh, a coffee really shouldn't be like $4.85. It should really be $4.60. You're like, whatever, man. That's Bill. I don't want Bill's coffee shop to be replaced by a Tim Hortons. Again, I have to be honest with myself, because if I let chat drive the conversation, and I know you're not going to want to hear this, they just want to argue and say like, oh, 5 seconds ago when you were trying to make me laugh, you said something that was dishonest. And now you're saying something that disagrees with that. So like, what gives with that? Well, that's because I was in a fucking fugue state when I was ranting about the mall food court, okay? What I'm trying to say is I feel like when people say a restaurant is overpriced, I discount it a little bit. The main reason I discount it is because it's the most common complaint I hear about restaurants. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that I'm guilty, if of anything, I'm guilty of trying to concoct a bit, which is that if every restaurant is overpriced, then the market is overpriced, so your ass should be eaten at home, which is fine. You may agree or you may disagree. But I feel like also, because I'm guilty of this as well, in my head, when I started buying my own meals, I anchored at like, that's what food costs. So the idea that like going out for a lunch and like the menu is like, what the hell, $14.99 for lunch? Those are dinner prices. Like, that's crazy. But I got to recognize, this is in 2007 in, like mid-urban Ontario. Like, I can't go out for lunch and get like an entree, a main, and a side for $6.99 Canadian anymore. Like, we've moved past. There's different types of overpriced. I think that's fair. Well, like Subway is overpriced because you get nothing except calories for the food. For the price, I should say. And that hurts the most. At least when you go to a local place and it's expensive, you're like, I'm adding to the culture of my neighborhood. At least the people at this business are probably making a fair wage. It's not just going straight to the franchisor. You do that, but honestly, you're probably not helping much. Oh, do you run the local businesses in my community? Or are you merely a chatter? Answer me, Billy. You paid $22 for a salad? I actually, again, this was for the bit. You guys are in, you know how I talk about how you can optimize your life in like a few different ways? And especially when it comes to games, I get annoyed that people optimize their fun out. They're like, yeah, the game's fun, but if I wanted to win, what I would do is never run the fun build, and I would just exclusively take the Groza every time. And then every time I come third, instead of being like, Pog, I'm in third, you go, oh, I should have been in first, but they had the Groza with the angled foregrip, and I had the straight foregrip, and the bro had a bison with a lemon, so what am I supposed to do about it? So literally, like, I'm out here making jokes, and you're like, there's some cognitive dissonance with these jokes. Okay, get ready for every other stream you've ever seen on Twitch. I really like to purchase a lemon now. but I don't know if the lemon's really appropriate for anybody. Hey, thanks Beardy Ginger for the gifted subscriptions. I helped you through some hard times. Yeah, I am. I'd say I'm pretty special. Like, I'm out here grinding every single day with my 25-hour work week. Like, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm going to put a lemon on a skunk. I know a lot of people are probably going to be annoyed with that. They're going to say the carrot had like a lot of upside. And maybe you're right. If you think that the carrot would have been better, make sure to leave a comment. I'd love to see it. Melon's pretty good. And then you know what? I'm not going to buy a croissant. I think I'd rather just roll for some chocolate. Hold on, my food's here. So, oh, what did I miss? Oh, I won. I didn't even know what was happening. Man, this food is so good. I don't have anything to crinkle. Oh, banana. I've got a banana from DoorDash. Well, $8. Yeah, no big deal. Thanks for the subscriptions, guys. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to threaten you and say, like, well, be careful what you wish for, because that's what the stream's going to become. For whatever reason, that's not in my nature. So you should just, like, leave and watch a less cognitively dissonant streamer. And I wish you the best, honestly. I wish you happiness and contentedness, quite frankly. I have nothing but respect for my boys in purple. No. Hold on, we're still living? No, we're not! Yes, we are! Okay, I caught myself in a bad habit. I was saying that I was pivoting. Actually, I was just scrolling through chat looking for someone to ban. And I think I found them. Alright. Did you just ban someone? No. I said I found someone to ban so that you would be on your best behavior. It's like if I was a cop, when I went to house parties, I wouldn't bust anybody. I would just walk into the party in plain clothes and go, guys, careful, the cops are here. And then, because whenever anybody hears that at a house party, they bolt. Oh no, it's the cops. And then when they all ran away, then I would just get in my car and I don't know, I'd go someplace else. That seems unethical? Okay, then I'll arrest you instead. Get arrested for partying. Why are you at a house party? Because I'm a cop in this... Yeah, it's normal at a Kegger in university for there to be a 34-year-old man with like some crow's feet and some gray in his beard and no hair, wearing a polo shirt where all 3 buttons are done up and a pair of chocolate brown doers. Hey guys, where's $10? Bro, this Kegger's overpriced. This price is so mid for this Kegger, you guys, is extremely not fire. Why don't you just make your own beer at home? Bro, literally, you want me to pay $1 for this Lakeport honey? Are you crazy? I could literally just get water for free out of the toilet, and Kool-Aid only costs 35 cents a pack, and then I could leave it in a mason jar in my window, and then in 9 weeks I'd have my own, and it's just as good. I could make it just as good for 35% of the price. Didn't you try homebrewing in college? Yeah, I'm making fun of literally myself. We're like, why would we pay $1 for a beer when we could instead just buy those 1-liter cylinders of Allen's apple juice from concentrate, pour it into an enormous 65-liter carboy that sits in an empty room in our slum house, wait 6 weeks, pray we didn't accidentally make poison, and then check it out. 50 cents a beer. Technically a cider, I guess, but there was something beautiful about it. Because we didn't have a hydrometer, which allows you to measure the alcohol percentage. We just sort of like freeballed it. We did not go blind. Everybody's doing great. But the thing is, like, some of the bottles, because they do secondary, they ferment a little bit more in the actual bottle once you've bottled it yourself. Some of the bottles, you crack it open and you'd be like, whoa, this is like a nice buzz. And then some of the bottles, you would have like 1 bottle. and you would be like, I am fucking drunk. I'm out of... And obviously there's variance in there to begin with, you know, like what did you eat that day, how'd you sleep, have you drank a lot of water, etc., etc. But there was also variance in the proof of the alcohol for sure. It added a little bit of extra little spice to the nights for sure. Because you would drink one and be like, I wonder how I'm going to feel in 10 minutes. Anyway, we should get started here. My friend is pickling apples in Mountain Dew. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in that sentence. What is... pickled apples is not something I've really heard of. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can... Don't quote me on this, obviously. I'm not sure if you can go blind from homebrew. Certainly, if you try to make your own moonshine, you could probably make, like, methanol by accident. But just, like, leaving apple juice in a fermenter, I'm not sure. I think it's more with bathtub liquor, but I don't know. I do know, you know what's crazy? If you accident, and again, don't quote me on this, but just pretend that what I'm saying is like demonstrably true because I think it is. If you accidentally drink methanol, and one of the ways that it's known to happen is like you accidentally drink like camping stove fuel thinking that it's alcohol, but actually it's, well, I guess technically it is, but either way, the way that you treat it, if it's fast enough, is that you just drink ethanol instead. Because your body's receptors would rather bind, they have a higher affinity for ethanol than methanol. So basically you can be like, sorry, we're at capacity. Sorry methanol, our cells are at capacity for poison right now. Because I had a chemistry professor who said that one time he drank camping stove fuel by accident. He went to the emergency room and they basically just made him drink like half a pint of vodka instead. Which is probably not good for you, but is better for you than dying of poison, I suppose. So... Also, alcohol is really expensive in Canada, so it's probably, considering that healthcare is free, he was double dipping. We are back and we're playing Mahokenshi. We played this, I think, in October. You may remember. It's a beautiful deck builder that is not hexadecimal. What's the shape? Hexagon based. So it's a little bit like you move through the world. The tiles have environmental effects. They help you build your deck. It's a little bit Slay the Spire and maybe a little bit Civilization 6 if you'll allow the comparison. At least they both have the same shape as their foundational element. You can check out Mahokenshi for yourself. ! Mahokenshi. It's available now if you check out that link in the video description below or in Twitch chat right now. And also, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, wait, we're moving. Oh, thanks to Iceberg Interactive for the sponsorship. There we go. Now let's play it up. I remember last time we won easily, but that was back when I was still a little bit Slay the Spire pilled, okay? Now I've been playing too much Super Auto Pets. I'm not sure that that my brain is conditioned for it.
You have been sent to investigate.
Kind of moves to the beat of jazz. You know what I was thinking as well? I love a game that opens with a cutscene of essentially that length, which is basically just like you are a character, complete quest. It sounds sarcastic, but I mean it sincerely. As far as I'm concerned, the best opening cutscene plus tutorial in video game history is The Binding of Isaac. Do, and then you spawn in on a room, and on the floor it says use WASD to move around and use your arrow keys to shoot. And then it's like play 3,000 hours. Anyway. In the most remote islands of the celestial realm, rumors of rebels and uprisings are common, but more recent rumors speak of darker forces and disappearing villages you have been sent to investigate. Right-click a tile to preview your travel path. Right-click again to start traveling. Look at, this is how you can tell I'm a gamer. I'm already adjusting the camera. They have not told me that WASD moves the camera and Q&E rotates it. That's just the sort of thing that, I mean, you just pick up when you've been in the business as long as I have. Look at what I've done to myself. I'll safe travel here. I definitely should have struck you once more, but I'm a fool. Why don't you walk over here and attack me, but it's only gonna inflict weakness because I have the armor from being on top of a mountain. Now let me tell you, killing your enemies earns you gold. You can use gold to buy many things. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. I know that in military strategy, having the high ground is good. Does anybody else think that they would be owned if they had the high ground, though? I just worry that if I was in a sword fight and I had the high ground, they'd be slicing at my ankles. I couldn't do anything to defend myself. It's like getting low kicked in a fighting game when you don't know the moves. You'd be slicing their face? Yeah, but they could like duck or something. It's like in dodgeball. If somebody throws a ball at your arm, you just get out of the way. Somebody throws the ball at your torso, like it's over. Cancel Christmas. Okay, I'll travel. You could jump or something? Okay, so now I'm Zoro. Okay, I guess I'll just jump over their Ipe and then maybe land directly on the blade so that their sword goes wop, 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 and then they'll let go of the handle, and then I'll like kick it up with my leg and put it in my pocket or something like that, and then cut a Z into their tunic. I could move on to the mountain. What does the mountain do? +2 attack and +4. Ooh. Okay. How about you die? And then you do 24 damage. I could move on to the mountain. Alternatively, I could just kill the big one. Let's just do that. I mean, I have 100 HP for a reason, I'm assuming. I end my turn. You can't stop me. You can't beat me. I'm a rock star. Victory. I'm too good. Honestly, if you type exclamation point Mahokenshi and you pick up the game for yourself, I want you to know that if you have trouble with the tutorial, if you don't have the same kind of performance that I just had, don't blame yourself. I have hundreds of hours of training in deck builders. I've played in multiple Magic the Gathering GPs. I've played, I don't want to brag, I've played in the main event and then dropped after round 2 at least 2 times, okay? So I just don't want you to feel bad if you end up checking it out for yourself because you're intrigued by the deck building meets, you know, tactical positioning and exploiting the environment aspect of a traditional strategy or 4X game, and then you go, what the heck, these goblins are kicking my butt. Okay. Launch me in here.
How have these vile creatures reached the Celestial Islands?
Walkable cities! Everybody wanted walkable cities. You didn't think what happens when your cities are so walkable and vile creatures start getting spawned from the loam. Now the creatures, they don't even have to, you know, take 17 Ubers to get to the city center. They can just walk a couple of miles and all of a sudden they're at your front door. Deal 9 damage. Strength affects this card 3 times. Lose 5 health, draw 2 cards. Lose 4 health, gain 4 strength. Range 2, reduce target's defense by 6, increase vulnerability. Honestly, I don't think we need this right now, but I love how much this looks like a Clash of Clans advertisement that I would see on the iOS App Store. Does it not? +2. Anytime I see a perfectly square head, I think of Clash of Clans, which is also wild because I've never played it. Not even for a second. I've eliminated 2 of 20 enemies. That's not even close to enough. Okay, range 3. Charge an enemy. On arrival, deals 6 damage to all adjacent enemies. What's the range on charge? Move into melee range of your opponent if it has an open adjacent tile within range. Range is 3. Okay. This effect allows you to cross water tiles? Could you imagine? Honestly, if John Wick had this card in his deck, he would be unstoppable. The Waffle House would have found its new host. Is it true that Canadian Tire money has an engraving of Sandy McTire on it? Yes. But I want to tell you, like, Canadian Tire, Americans always act like it's the weirdest store of all time. It's not, it's no more unusual than like a Walmart or something like that. It's named Canadian Tire, yes. I'm sure that's a vestige of like what they used to do, which was mostly automotive. Now, they have an automotive section, but it's mostly just like a department store that sells outdoor stuff, but also automotive stuff, but also toys and plants and gardening supplies. It's kind of like if Home Depot sold like everything but the lumber and then also sold some stuff that they have in like a Toys R Us. It's not that weird. Canadian Tire money is kind of weird. Hold on, I'm moving up here and then also choosing to gain some extra defense. Canadian Tire money is just their rewards program, which they literally used to have like printed money that when, like, let's say you bought $30 worth of stuff, they would give you like 30 cents of Canadian Tire money. So every time you went there, it was a nightmare because you would always have like someone in front of you with like 1,000 different bills in Canadian Tire money that the cashier would have to count. But that was a long time ago. Now they use like the Triangle Rewards card or something, so it's all automated and probably like much worse than it used to be. So it's like Kohl's Cash. I'm assuming, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm always surprised when people act like Canadian Tire is like, they're like, whoa, what a crazy store. Like, Jay, when I told you that I go to Canadian Tire now and then just because my daughter likes to, like, look at the toys, you were like, well, I guess I get it. So it's like a place you get your oil changed, and while you're getting your oil changed, there's a store inside? And I'm like, no, not at all. It's... I'm not blaming you, because I guess it is a foreign concept, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just a store. There's no, I don't even think I can get here without flying. Like, there's no gimmick to it. It's literally like just a store. And I'll give you that the Canadian Tire mascot is a little weird. Like, I'm not gonna go to bat for Sandy McTire. He's like a weird... I always thought he was like Robin Hood when I was a kid. A lot of Canadians have the same experience. Just a guy in like kind of a weird hat. Me and my bros on the way to ask my mom if we can have McDonald's for dinner tonight. I'd +2 that. Hey, look though, I didn't lose my side quest, so I'm chilling. This one's a freaking gimme. I'll summon an even larger kunai. How about one of these? Get these out of my deck, please. Are these guys coming over? I bet they're coming over. In which case, we should move here and then pray. I'll pass turn. Oh, no. No! I learned a lot from that last one. Red lads are the dream blunt rotation. They have Batman tattooed on their chest. Is that really who you want to be in the blunt rotation with? Someone with the Punisher sticker on the back of their Mazda 3? I don't have the energy to inflict the rest of the poison. That's okay. All right, we're going to fight them on the mountains here, I guess. Just call me Winston Churchill. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the shores. We'll fight them on the mountain. I don't think I can take on 4 big dudes at once. I'm just going to say it. Oh, no. Is there like a /disable BTTV that you can turn on for 5 seconds? What are these? It's true, I guess I could disable the app on my own end. That's whatever, they're just big emotes, who cares? $10 damage draw. Although, I don't know, I feel like they're making my game lag a little bit. The big emotes are starting to crash my computer. No, that can't be it. I don't know how video cards work, but that can't be it. No, they aren't. I just want to see if my computer is getting really hot. Guys, can you stop spamming the emotes? My computer is getting a little bit warm. You're scaring me? Maybe it's just rendering the clouds or the birds or something. I don't know, man. Is this a forest? Looks more like an oasis or something. I guess I'm gonna do it myself. Origins, oh, they'll patch it. They'll patch it. Let them have the wide emotes for one day, okay? It's just one day. Do they look horrendous? Yes, they look like horrible, but that's kind of funny. We'll all look back on this in a year and be like, remember that day Better Twitch TV broke and the emotes were all big? Good game. Act like I genuinely had a great time. Now are we going to go debase ourselves with some golf? I don't know. And there's only an hour. I think we would like Super Auto Pets or golf. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna Super Auto Pets. We played a lot of golf lately. I could use the sap in the backlog. Honestly, you literally played sap. Yeah, I played for like an hour and a half. I have like, I mean, there's too much golf. I don't know if you've seen the golf analytics on YouTube lately. The golf analytics are not doing so hot. People are getting sick of the golf. We need Nintendo to release another 18 holes. That'll take 10 years. Are the golf videos doing as bad as Marvel Midnight Suns on YouTube? No, that's in a class all of its own. But either way, I still love golf. We're just gonna, maybe it's not gonna be an everyday thing. Maybe it'll be like a couple times a week or a few times a week. You cannot harm me. At googlemail.com. And do not fret, Midnight Suns is returning. That's all I'm going to say about that, but I promise you it's coming. NL, you find a hobby yet? Well, this weekend was not a good time, and this is probably how it'll be every day until I die. This weekend was not the right time to find a new hobby because my wife came back on Friday. She's jet-lagged. Saturday, we didn't have too much stuff going on, which was nice, but Sunday was, I had a kid's birthday party. I had Lunar New Year celebrations with Kate's parents, so we had like other things on the go. Maybe this weekend. Surely this weekend is the weekend that I get a hobby. Get into sports gambling. You know, you joke, and I wouldn't, but at the same time, I feel like that's one of the reasons like you need to actively pursue getting a hobby as a man like approaching middle age. Because if you don't actually pursue getting a hobby, a vice just becomes your hobby. Like instead of being like, oh, I am like I golf on the weekends. Instead, you're like, oh, I'm really into craft beer, but you just buy 6 tall cans of the exact same craft beer every Friday. You're not really into craft beer. You're into drinking like 8% double IPA in aggregate as much as possible. That's not a hobby. That's just, I'm not trying to say it's a moral judgment. I'm just saying. It's like an excuse for a hobby. Which is fine if you fall into it, but you probably wouldn't choose it for yourself. Hello, Chiblee. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good time. Watching the stream. Hello. What were you playing yesterday? I can't remember. I was watching a little bit of it. It was not Roblox. I remember that. Random games? Oh, dude! I got myself in trouble because I was talking about you were like rolling random anime games on Steam and then being like, I'm never going to play this. And I was like, it's crazy without being too disrespectful. It's crazy how like, even though I'm not an anime guy, some anime is like the greatest media you could ever see. Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell. There's probably others. I'm going to lump Miyazaki movies in here, even though they might not be like the traditional definition of anime. But then, like, so many times people are like, you've got to see this anime. It's incredible. I watch one episode, and I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I would much rather, I would rather watch some kind of, like, CBS police procedural than the average anime that gets suggested. The ones that are at the top of the top, where it's just like hot ladies smoking cigarettes in a rusted kind of retro futuristic landscape, and when they drive motorcycles, the taillights of the motorcycle leave like a light trail around and stuff like that. That shit's crazy. That's like the greatest media you'll ever watch. But then like so much of what gets suggested. I mean, like, I'll give you an example. Kate was like, we should watch Cowboy Bebop. We watched some Cowboy Bebop. I was like, this show is amazing. Then she was like, well, if you like that, well, let's watch some Gurren Lagann. And I was watching Gurren Lagann. I was like, what's going on? Just a bunch of 8-year-olds working in an asbestos mine, complaining about things, and then they fight like giant robots sometimes, and the villain is like he's like a teenage emo vampire or something like that. I'm like, what is this? It's lit. I'm not trying to knock it. Apparently, it's one of the best. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hey, you Watanabe, thank you for the gifted subscriptions as well. Thank you. I'm genuinely not knocking. Like, I think I've made a fairly reasonable case. I'm being positive about anime. I'm not saying there's no good animes. I guess it's just that, like, I don't know, some of the stuff that gets... Like, here's the thing. Sometimes people suggest an anime and they're like, it's a 10 out of 10. And you watch it and you're like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. Sometimes you watch it and you lose respect for the person that recommended it. I guess that's true of any media, but it seems to happen a lot more commonly with me with anime. Like, otherwise reasonable people will be like, dude, you got to check out, oh, the hottest new anime of the season is like an anime where like someone in middle school gets a sword that like kills their bullies or something like that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. The only thing I would rather watch that then is like another Netflix show about Narcos. Like if they released Narcos Colombia, Narcos Mexico, if they went like, okay, next one's Venezuela, I'm like, I'm out. I just can't watch another show with like the yellow filter on top of it. I don't care who's moving kilos of coke down to Caracas. I'm over it. But there is, for sure, without a doubt, there is good anime. Dry land is not a myth. I've seen it. This is a weird one. You might say, why would you do this? Well, the thing is, we're never going to be running the kangaroo long term. We're putting the toad on because the toad's useful. The way that this run works right now, although we're going to lose this one badly, is... it's just buffalo. Just get a lemon on the buffalo. Also, and again, I'm hoping that... Because, like, I know that there's, like... You got to be careful when you talk about anime online, because all the anime fans have been raised in a crucible of constantly getting their hobby criticized. So they have, like... It's the same way when you're dealing with a telemarketer. They have, like, a list of common reasons people say no, and then, like, a way to steamroll past it. Because last night, I was like... I guess, for me, part of the weirdness is that why is so much of... anime wrapped up in horniness? And then someone replied, well, a lot of American TV is wrapped up in horniness too. And I'm like, it is, but it's sort of like, I guess there's a cultural difference, because American shows are like degenerate horny. Like MILF Manor is like, we're gonna fuck. But then like in anime, like so much of it is kind of like obfuscated. Like, people's eyes are popping out of their heads. They're getting nosebleeds. They're like, I'm in love with this girl. And then you're like, it's horny. And they're like, it's not horny. It's not horny at all. You're weird if you think it's horny. And I'm like, brother, look at the picture. Look at the damn capsule art for this show and tell me it's not horny. It's like 8 incredibly large-breasted young women wearing no clothes. And like, and I'm the guy who's like, why is it so horny? They're like, well, it seems like a personal problem. Yeah, I jerk off to it, but it's not horny. I'm just like, again, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm merely saying that maybe the cultural difference makes it appear more unusual to me, whereas the horniness on American television seems more benign because I'm desensitized to it. And then inevitably also because like you insult... Love Hina or something like that. I've got to answer for the fact that I watched 10 episodes of 90 Day Fiancé in November 2019. Okay, well, you know what? That's my cross to bear, okay? I didn't realize at the time, if I had realized this at the time, by the way, it would have changed my media diet. I didn't realize at the time that there's such a thing as media cancellation, which is if you've ever watched 90 Day Fiancé in your entire life, your media opinions never have any credence from that point onwards. But is it okay if I watch extreme couponing? I love a lot of the horrendous TLC shows, and I would never tell a lie about it. Like, Customer Wars goes crazy. Most anime isn't even sexual. It's tame compared to American TV. It's not, though. Like... Again, I'm meeting you at a level where we can have like a shared human experience. We don't have to lie to each other. about that. Like, most American TV is not that sexualized. It's actually, its greatest sin is that it's just boring. Like, there's obviously amazing American television shows, but if we're drawing the comparison between American TV and like Japanese anime, we're talking about like CBS procedurals where every single episode is like, a crime got committed in Hell's Kitchen. Sick bastard cut off the fingers of his victim, put him in the coin slot of all the pinball machines. They call him the pinball killer. And then like over the whole episode, there's just like, we're never gonna find the pinball killer. And then they're like, oh, I think that's him. False alarm. There he is. Get him. We got the pinball killer. You know, that's just, it's more just boring instead of anything else. It's not even gory. No, it's like there's, it's not violent. There's like illusions of violence. They don't have the good sense to be genuinely violent, because that might be too interesting. Might turn off the target audience. You'd rather have that than horny? No, they both suck. That's the thing. Oh, and so do we, for the record, right here. Yeah, so do we. I'm just trolling? What is, I deal with your argument and now you're trolling? A second ago when you thought you had me on the ropes, you were serious? Horny can be fun. I mean, some of the good animes are a little horny. Kimi no Nawa was a little horny. There's a gender swap, body swap thing going on. He's feeling himself up when he gets in the body of a girl, but it's also a great movie. I'm just talking about the stuff that is like horny but with no other merits associated with it. Most anime has zero horny. You know what it is like when when someone on the street says like, do you have a second to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? And you're like, no, I'm busy. And they're like, you know who else was busy? Was King Menelaus. Back in the, and you're like, I get that you have like a flow chart of like because I'm coming at this from a place of sympathy. Okay, it probably sucks that your media diet gets criticized so much, and that's why you have all the counter arguments built in. But it's like an asymmetrical argument, because mostly I'm just expressing my opinion. I'm not trying to, you know, say why does Anime Club get free pizza from the school board when the trivia team has to pay for our own. You can watch whatever you watch. I'm just saying this. It's the. Oh, hold on. I need to see how many wins we got. 2. That was. Hold on. 0% of people bet on 2. That's a 260x for whoever did do the 2 betting. But this is also, like, can I tell you why, and this is, again, coming from a place, and I know that you're going to be like, yeah, but those people aren't criticized as much as we are, so of course our feelings are hurt. But listen, I can learn something from this, you can learn something from this. When someone's, like, really into watching Law & Order SVU, and you go, I don't think that show's very good, they go, yeah, it fucking sucks, I hate it. I watch it every week because it's on Thursday nights at 8 is when I fold the laundry. It's just kind of like a habit that I'm into. When you say, like, oh, bad animes are really bad, all of a sudden, people, they come for your fucking throat. They go crazy. I'm not trying to say that they shouldn't exist. I'm just, there's like, yeah, some animes are really bad, but are they as bad as the worst episode of Young Sheldon? And I'm like, I don't know. I try not to watch that shit either. It's not, you know, it's just a show. People get defensive when they know they might be wrong. No, but now you got me defending the people that I was disagreeing with. Because I hate that. Like, I hate when someone tells a lie about you, and then you're like, that's a lie? And they're like, why so defensive? And you're like, well, what am I supposed to do then? Be like, admit to the lie? And then they're like, wait a second. Like, you get accused of something, you're like, I didn't do that. People are like, that's what a guilty person would say. Okay? It's also what an innocent person would say. So this is why the court system is not based on that's what a guilty person would say. I saw the essay and I said, oh no, then I saw who it was from and I said, oh, okay. It's not surprising.
You will never be Japanese. You will never find the love of your life in Japan who looks like this and is a cutie pie Japanese girl. You will never be the protagonist in an anime. You will never have superpowers to allow you to overcome your most greatest tribulations. You'll always be a loser.
Someone called you an incel? What the hell? I have a biological child. My man. You know that baby Yoda tweet and the baby carrot tweet still get like likes and retweets to this day? It comes. I'm sure I'm sure Chib has gone through this. When you have a tweet that goes like viral, it hits pockets in the long tail. It hits pockets of virality. So there will be like 3 weeks where I don't see any notifications on that tweet, and then I'll get like 500 in a day. I am surprised, though, that there's baby carrots, that means my man, and then the picture of the VeggieTales carrot. I'm surprised that has done so much better than there's a baby Yoda, that means my man. Tweet, it's, the Yoda one is so much funnier to me. Maybe because it was first, but get off Twitter, it's too horny. What, are you mad about the Love Hina joke again? Listen, I love Spirited Away as much as the next guy. It's probably one of the greatest movies of the 2000s, of the 21st century so far. Why is it that there's always the anime fans, man, that are like someone's like, some animes are bad. They're like, wrong. And I'm like, what about that one? They're like, yeah, that's okay, true. That one's kind of ass, but so is Young Sheldon. And I'm like, bro, I didn't make Young Sheldon. I don't even like good American network TV shows. Like, I think Modern Family is like a blight on culture. I think it's like a No True Scotsman thing. It's like only actual anime fans can say that shitty animes are shitty. If someone who doesn't watch that much anime says that a shitty anime is shitty, they haven't earned it yet. You haven't earned it until you've bought the box set on Blu-ray. Dude, yeah, we should do that about North America. Sorry, and it was basically, you said America, but I'm letting myself piggyback in on this. Bro thinks he's on the team. I'll take my draw. People always be like, oh, Burger King's bad. Oh, really? Burger King's bad? So you've never had a lukewarm Yoshinoya beef bowl in the middle of Shinjuku? There's bad restaurants in Japan, too. I follow random_restaurant. I've seen, where do you live? You live in Slovenia? Check out this fucked up restaurant in Slovenia you've never been to before. Yeah, okay, you're right. Burger King is ass, but only we get to say it. Only we get to say Burger King is ass, okay? It's crazy how McDonald's is like so good. Like it's, without a hint of irony, I'm going to say this to you, okay? And I'm going to not only say it to you, I'm going to believe it as well. This was not smart. I actually think that McDonald's is probably in the top 10% of American restaurants. I'll include Canada there, in aggregate. The food tastes good. It's reasonably priced. It's reliable. The drive-thru is a feat of modern linguistics and personnel management. I still don't understand how the drive-thru works. This is a true story. The only time that I've ever not been impressed with how the drive-thru worked, we tried to get McDonald's, I think it was on Saturday, maybe it was on Friday, coming back from the airport. We got in line, and in front of us, someone got arrested in the drive-thru line in their car. So the cops had them like out of their car was at the front of the line, so nobody could get through, and the person was like ripped out of their car and arrested. So I was like, to be honest with you, part of me was like, I'm a little surprised that they didn't push the car out of the way so that the drive-thru could keep going. They're probably losing like $1,000 a minute in sales, but I just went to the parking lot instead and then went inside. But I'm not going to say that McDonald's is the best restaurant in North America. That's insane. Don't put those words in my mouth. What I will say is that I think it's in the top 15%. I mean, would I rather eat at McDonald's than like a great sushi restaurant? In some situations, sure. By and large, probably not. However, would I rather eat at McDonald's than almost any fast, casual chain sit-down restaurant? Yes. I would rather eat at McDonald's than Olive Garden, Applebee's, Chili's, East Side Mario's, Swiss Chalet. Like, it totally shits on that category. And that category is like at least 50% of the restaurants that exist in North America. Even the Chalet Swiss? Even the Chalet Swiss, Jerry! Can you do a fast food tier list? The thing is, I can't really do a fast food tier list. You're gonna laugh at me. The reason I can't really do a fast food tier list is because whenever we get fast food, my ass is getting McDonald's. So I never learn anything about other fast food locations. Or Subway? Okay, sure. McDonald's is better than Subway. Even the most devout McDonald's hater wouldn't dispute that one. This team that they have here is literally just disrespectful. I can't believe you would do something like that to me. I can't believe I'm still alive, though. What's your go-to McDonald's order? Last time I went, I usually don't mix it up. There's a rare opportunity for me to mix it up a little bit. I got the spicy chicken nuggets. Are they that spicy? No, it's a fast food restaurant. They already kill enough people without adding any real capsaicin. But they're slightly spicy. 10 spicy nuggets, sweet and sour sauce, barbecue sauce, regular French fries, medium Coke Zero. That's it. I don't get too prickly with the, oh, did you know if you order like a junior McChicken and a double cheeseburger, then you combine them and then you put 2 nuggets on it and then you squeeze a little bit of the ketchup into it and then you know half Coke Zero, half diet, orange Fanta or something like that, then it tastes just like Robitussin and blah blah. Because the thing is, I don't want to spend that much time in the restaurant. I want to like get in, hate myself, love myself when I take a bite, hate myself when I put it down, get out of the restaurant. As soon as I start min-maxing the fast food menu, I basically made a decision to cut 10 years off my life. Even though the consequences are well over the horizon, I'm making that decision right now and I don't want to do that. So the only times I really get to try new fast food, and thankfully it's been happening more often lately, or maybe not thankfully for like, you know, my health, but is when we go visit our in-laws in Washington. Because like I love domestic exoticism, which is basically my way of saying, sure, I could go to a foreign country and like experience new culture, which I've done many times. Or alternatively, what a horrendous team. I could drive across the border, be in almost exactly the same country, but the chain restaurants are like slightly different. That's how I end up eating at Popeyes. Stay on your side of the border, please. I'm from Bellingham. Listen, Bellingham, you got some of the best mod pizzas in Upper Washington. Popeyes is goated. Popeyes is not goated. I'm sorry to inform you that, again, now here's the thing. There's no true Scotsman once more. People are going to be like, which Popeyes did you go to? I don't do that, okay? If they're going to be a chain restaurant, then they have to live and die with a random representative sample of locations, okay? Maybe the Popeyes I went to was not the top Popeyes in the country or whatever, but I'm sure they're using the same, you know, industrial bag of breadcrumbs. The Popeyes was better than KFC. Now you're moving the goalposts. The chicken was better than KFC, but way, way, way too salty, and I love salty food. Biscuit was fine, but I say that is just without insulting the people who go crazy for the Popeyes biscuit. Is just a biscuit. Like I would take it over, you know, a piece of Cheesecake Factory bread, but it's nothing to write home about at the end of the day. And then the sides, I don't even like remember the sides. All I know is that everybody said I think we got fries because there were a lot of kids in the party. And then people were like, there's your problem. You have to get the red beans and rice. Well, then they should call the restaurant fucking Popeyes red beans and rice instead of Popeyes chicken. Because the chicken was not that, I was not that impressed with the chicken. I want to be mad, but I can't because he's right. I'm taking it to the bank with me. One person agreed with me. What do you like? Well, like, I take the heat myself because I'm always like, anytime we're in Washington, I love to go to Mod Pizza. People are like, Mod Pizza's mid. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like the best pizza I've ever had in my life. But they put whatever you want on it, and it literally comes out in like 3 minutes. And I love a thin crust pizza. So I like a Mod Pizza. I'm not afraid to say it. Maybe I'm a little afraid to say it. You also do have to realize, like, I don't mind. In fact, I would even say I like hoity-toity food. I like haute cuisine. I like the chef's table, as Jay was saying last night. I like the chef's table nonsense. I don't mind going to dinner, and as long as I know that it's the case, that it's going to be a long one, okay, give me a 2-hour dinner. Let's have a fun time. But if I'm at a quick service restaurant, my ass largely just every extra 5 minutes I have to wait for the food takes 1 point off of the overall review. That's one of the reasons McDonald's goes so hard. When you go through the drive-thru, you literally are waiting 0 minutes for your food. The shit just comes out. You know, it's been like 5 years since they even asked me to pull off to the side. We're making a new batch of chicken. It's crazy. So it's getting like the unfiltered score. Mod Pizza gets filtered like 2 points down because you got to wait for it to cook, but at least you can see it cook in there. If I have to drive 25 minutes to go to a fast food restaurant that's better than the same category of food, but it's right next to me, then that shit better be like 10 times better. Because otherwise, if I had that much time, my ass would be like going to a real restaurant. Like, I'm not going to be next to a Popeyes and then be like, oh, I'm not feeling Popeyes. Can you drive me 30 minutes across town to a 70-car lineup for a Chick-fil-A? Fast food lines in America are kind of crazy, too. Oh, do we have them in Canada, too, now that I think about it? Every time they open, I think they opened a Chick-fil-A in Toronto, or was it a Popeyes? And the lineup to go through the drive-thru got so long that it was like, it extended onto the highway, like past the on-ramp that you need to take to go to the drive-thru. That was Chick-fil-A. I mean, that's just madness. We have a Popeyes in Kingston now. Dude, Kingston's really is becoming quite a cosmopolitan place. When I lived there, there was legitimately like one Korean restaurant in town, and then it shut down, and 2 weeks later, another Korean restaurant opened across the street. It was like they were waiting for their opportunity. Okay, you got me. Yes, I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. How many tours do you do a day, man? 25. You ever see... Empty the cup every time, man. What a great video. You've never seen that? It's actually like an ancient video. It's probably from like 2005. And I'm not being facetious when I say that. Any Peloton today? Oh, yes. 30... Hold on. Usually I do it at the start of the stream. I'm a little bit more fresh. It was definitely... It was a 30-minute Bradley Rose 80s ride. Output 340 something. Followed by a 15-minute Sam Yo hit ride. Output was 160 something, 170 maybe. Followed by a 10-minute Hannah Frankson cooldown ride. Output irrelevant. Did you do the live Ally Love ride? Can I tell you something hilarious? I've never done a live ride on the Peloton. Because all the classes, it seems like they're made for East Coasters. They tend to start at like 2 to 5 a.m. Pacific time. Or like they're for the UK and they start later at night. I can't seem to find... Well, also the second part of it is I've never really looked. Once I found instructors that I liked, I was like, if they're not doing a live ride, I don't want to be in. in the live ride. Like, why do I care that somebody else is gonna get like a shout out? I'm just trying to get my my exercise in. Well, listen, I understand live streamer doesn't understand the value of live streaming, but like if the only reason I watched a live stream was to get like a shout out from somebody, then I would then maybe I would make sure that I was there for those live rides. And I see people on r/Peloton Cycle, the Peloton subreddit, not to be confused with r/Peloton, which is all about competitive actual biking. But they're like, I was going to have my 17,000th ride on, and I realized, oh no, it was on a cooldown ride. So I deleted the 3 lowest rides on my list so that my rides got lower, and then I stacked up such rides so that I would segue it straight into the live ride, and I still didn't get a shout out from Kendall O'Toole. That's not an old bit. Like, this is how people actually behave. I still think the craziest thing I ever saw on the Peloton subreddit was person who was mad that there's not enough BTS and then on the rides, and then in her post she was like, yeah, I searched BTS, but there's only like 35 rides that have BTS songs, and they're one of the most popular bands in the world. This is just I couldn't fathom it. You know, I have not heard a single Cocteau Twins song, and I'm still managing to keep the pedals turning. They're still waiting on my 45-minute My Bloody Valentine ride. It'd be like cadence fucking 0 to 90, I think. Resistance, I don't know, you figure it out. Close my eyes, feed me higher. Okay, Chip, but that's no joke. They could do a Slint ride. The other bands, I'm not sure they could do. But you could do a Slint ride. Just think about it. Like, okay, Breadcrumb Trail is perfect for interval work because it's got that slow dung 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 dun na 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 na, and then crank the resistance up. Spinning round my head begins to turn. Beep. And then the next one was Nosferatu, man. I mean, that's just got a great beat for like a build. I don't know what you would do during Dawn a Man. That could be like a few minutes of like active recovery, just light pedal, you know, flat road. And then when he gets in his car and it goes, then you could start to pedal a little harder again. But anyway, movie to movie. No, I'm done with that. Listen, I'm pretty cold turkey. Actoral brought 4 septuagenarians in a row, and I said, no, that's it, I'm done. It doesn't get another shot. I loved Rumbleverse, quit it. I said I quit cold turkey. People said you'll never quit. I came back once when season 2 came out, never played it since. Tweeted them? No, they don't need to know. Honestly, if my shit sucks, don't tweet me. I don't want to know. Go find some shit that's good and tweet them some positivity. I never want to hear any more constructive criticism. I don't know who you are. Strangers will really tweet you like negative stuff and be like offended when you're upset. Hey, your videos recently have sucked. Are you okay? Who are you? Whoa, whoa, whoa. All of a sudden we hate getting, it's designed to improve you, fool. Just leave. Go watch somebody else. They're asking if you're okay. Okay, they say, are you okay? I say, are you okay? All of a sudden it's toxic when I say it. You know why it's toxic? Because they know I'm okay when they ask the question. And they know they're not okay when I flip the question back. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time to 50 first dates. Okay, it seems doable. Remind me who was in this movie, except for Jake Gyllenhaal. Give me a second here. I'm running the numbers trying not to get through Marvel. Alfred Molina is also, he's in Spider-Man's, but he's also in Frida with Salma Hayek, who is, Alfred Molina, Frida, Salma Hayek. I know she did a movie with Adam Sandler. There's no doubt. She's done like 1,000 garbage movies like that, right? It's not Drunk Parents. Grown Ups 2, that's got to be it. Take me to Adam Sandler, and then take me to 50 First Dates. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Oh, Drew Barrymore is in Donnie Darko. You're so right. She plays the English teacher. So you go Prince of Persia, Jake Gyllenhaal, Donnie Darko, Drew Barrymore, 50 First Dates. You could do it one faster. And that's not even that difficult. I'm still happy with what I got on this, though. It was a good one. Plus, we connected Alfred Molina through Frida. Suppose we could guess the game real quick. Why not? Okay, feel like I should know this, but I don't. I'm gonna say this is Guacamelee 2. It's not Guacamelee 2. This shit looks like a Fallout for real. I'm gonna say that's Fallout New Vegas. PS3 and Xbox 360. I'm going to say this is Fallout 3. Action Adventure. I'm going to say this is Brutal Legend. Was Brutal Legend? I honestly thought that was a horrible guess. I just knew that she had like rock and roll music on her face. Look at picture 6. Okay, frame 6, I probably would have gotten it. I think I would have gotten it on frame 5 too. This is not made by Bethesda. This looks so Bethesda. Doesn't this look like Brian Posehn made his own Fallout 3 character and he's eating like a Deathclaw steak while sitting next to a campfire or something? It's actually literally him? Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't realize that. Didn't realize Brian Posehn was in that. Okay, fair enough. Well, they did a great job on the rendering then, that's for sure. Or the modeling. Let me see. She is not live. She's hosting me. Have a little conversation with myself. She's not live. Hey, here's me picking up my daughter from daycare when it's all dads at the daycare. Hey, here's me picking up my daughter from daycare when it's all dads at the daycare. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, how you doing? Pretty good. How are you doing? Oh, hey, how you doing? Pretty good. How are you doing? Not too bad. Not too bad. How was your weekend? Pretty good. How are you doing? Not too bad. Not too bad. How was your weekend? You know, we were doing a lot of like baby stuff. You know, we had a good time. Got some sleep. We were doing a lot of like baby stuff. You know, we had a good time. How about you? Did you have a good weekend? How about you? Did you have a good weekend? I can't keep this up. It's just too confusing. You just ramble about the Peloton instead. My wife, she's got a half moon on her Discord. Can you add someone in a DM? Hello? I got stuff to do. I got my own stuff to do. I gotta go pee, I gotta eat lunch. After I eat lunch, I gotta record some videos. I gotta get groceries for me and the baby, and then I gotta be there for daycare pickup at the right time. You could get up from your chair. Yo, it's the principle of the matter. That being said, I got it. I'll be right back. She said 2 more minutes. Tell me my ass ain't waiting in the car till 6:45. When I go in, she's stepping out the damn shower like, can I help you? I'm not going to do a tier list, but let's see what kind of tier maker lists have been going viral lately. Tier lists for everything. Our Cursed Childhood TV Show tier list. Oh, this is a YouTube video. That's not even, okay. Should do like a best football players of all time tier list. Like who's, okay, I don't know who this guy is. I think this is Robin Van Persie. No, that's Harry Kane. I see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Pele's not even in the running. How is that possible? Oh, because it's best football players of the world, not in all time. Female cartoon hotties. The Ultimate Cartoon Crush List Girl Edition. Bro, that's the mom from American Dad. What are you... you can't put... You sexualizing Pocahontas? You shouldn't be able to make a tier list until you're, like, old enough to get drafted into the military and go overseas and get killed. You ever think about how much stress on the internet for normal people is created by the fact that we don't know that some of the worst takes we see are from people who are literally 14 years old? There's definitely been times when, like, I think it's a curse if you're, like, smart enough at age 12 to write that it looks like... Because here's the thing. A lot of adults are, like, extremely dumb and not good at communicating. So you'll see, like, 50-year-olds will send you an email that looks like it was written by a 9-year-old. It's really hard to tell how old someone is just from what they're writing. So a 12-year-old could be smart enough to write like a, you know, let's just say like a 34-year-old would, but their wisdom is not caught up yet. So there's really well-written, eloquent nonsense. And then you think, oh, this must be written by someone that's like a peer of mine. You don't realize they were actually born in like 2009 before you start going off on them. Check out Chrono Photo. Oh, that was the website where you guess what year a photo was taken, right? Guess what year photo was taken? Chronophoto.app. In creating this website, I was surprised to find how many common accuracies were in regard to photo dating. Okay? Well, literally the first one that I clicked on, I'm glad I didn't have my screen up. It's just like 7 dead bodies being loaded into the back of a car while a bunch of people watch. So I'll probably not do that one. Turns out my wife is live. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll see you tomorrow. Later. What an end note. It's okay. It didn't affect me because the photo was in black and white. If that photo had been from like the advent of color photography, that might have messed me up and caused like some real trauma. But instead, it was in black and white, so it was like looking at an old newspaper or something like that. I'm not affected. Are you changing your gears? Have you had enough of you guys like Steely Dan?